Okay, so one thing I don't really talk about a whole lot that I should talk about is gender euphoria. I've talked a lot about dysphoria, and that's not all there is. There are good parts of being trans and non binary. Like, I remember my first hit of gender euphoria. I was at college in like my early 20s. Egg was starting to crack, but wasn't quite there yet. Still didn't know what non binary was or that I was non binary, all that jazz. Well, I used to dress in really baggy, large clothes. Well, my excuse is because it's comfortable. But really, subconsciously, I was trying to hide my chest and my curves. I wouldn't realize that for a few more years. But getting away from that, I had a friend tell me that sometimes she looks at me and she can't really tell what I am. And that just made me so ridiculously happy. Like, oh my god, I look androgynous sometimes. Like, even my own friend who's known me has trouble remembering that I'm supposed to be a girl. I don't know why this makes me so happy, but that's amazing. I love that. Granted, she meant that in a negative way, but still, just that first time hearing it was like, wow, I look androgynous sometimes. I couldn't fathom why that made me so happy until years later when my egg cracked for real, and I heard the term non-binary and realized, oh shit, that's me. Another time, I was walking to my department at work, super dysphoric because my binders had been crushing my ribs lately, so I had to take a break. So I was in a bra, I had my hair down, I was just so in a funk because I thought I looked so feminine, and from across the parking lot, this guy tries to get my attention. One of those people collecting signatures for a petition, and he tried to call out to me, and he was like, "Excuse me, sir, uh, ma'am, sir," and I rode that high the rest of the day. Like, wow, even at peak feminine, for me, I still passed as like androgynous. Someone couldn't look at me and immediately tell I'm assigned female at birth. Probably didn't help that he was at a distance, but you know what? I'm going to take that as a win. And there have been other little things, like I went to a Starbucks and I was wearing a little pronoun pin that said they, them on it. The barista called me she, and then corrected himself, like, oh, I'm sorry, they, because he noticed my pin. And that was awesome, because for the most part, no one corrects themselves when they misgender me or even acknowledge it. I even started wearing a bigger pronoun pin, and I still get she, heard. So, it is what it is. I can't control people what they call me. But that, and there was actually another time someone corrected himself. Like, he called me she in front of his, like, maybe 4 or 5-year-old son. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, they. See the pin? And I was riding that high the rest of the day, too. Like, wow. There's probably been other times that aren't immediately coming to mind. Like, there's been a few times I was called sir, and that felt cool. Because, like, I mean, personally, I don't care what honorific people use. I don't care if I get missed and ma'amed. I don't care if I get sirred or mistered. Don't call me lady, though. Don't call me young lady. I don't like the word lady. Makes my skin crawl. It's a trigger word for me. Don't call me lady. I don't like it. But other than that, it's like, there have been so many times I've had genuine euphoria. I wish they weren't so fleeting, though.